All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the News Hour with Celso Trejo. Uh, Enjoying this beautiful day on the patio here. It was sprinkling a little while ago, but it's gone now. Still a little cloudy, but today's episode, it goes out for all the youngsters out there. If you're about 16 years old, perhaps 18, you have no idea what the 90s were like, and you think times are tough now. I dug up some old newspapers to let you guys know what you missed out on and how good you have it. So these are some of the newspapers dating back to the 90s, and now we know racism is a problem, but back then, look at this. The second Bigfoot shot by trigger-happy cops. She was trying to surrender with her baby, and they blew her away. Now, this is the second one. I think this happened in Montana. The first one was in Texas. So you think such a rare species, a humanoid, would have been kind of, looked at and, you try to help it and study it. No, they blew them away. I think it was like state troopers. It was horrible. But so you can see here, it says second Bigfoot shot dead by cops. So let's get into some more stories. Now, I know there's some environmental disasters going on right now, but we had those two back then. If some of y'all remember, it says whale explodes in the middle of downtown. So I believe this was in Galveston. They had a beached whale, and they tried to take it over to the university or some kind of medical study center, and it had been sitting on the beach for so long in the summer that the gases built up, and boom, that thing exploded, man. It was really bad. And look, you can see someone's Vespa down there. The streets were completely just littered with just goopy stuff and intestines. Now, back then, there was, Bush, George W. Bush was a president back then as well. Oh, that was in the 2000s. I'm sorry. Who was... So this is from the 2000s, I'm sorry. So Bush's plan to protect the White House was to paint it solid black so you couldn't hit it. I think this was right after 2002, 9/11. I mean, can't forget that. So Bush's plan to protect the White House was to paint it all black. I mean, they must have thought different back then. Now we have technology, LRAD, so anyone tries to throw a missile, these laser beams just shoot the missile out of the sky like that. Back then, we didn't have that, so, you had to come up with different strategies like that. Now, also, we have Bat Boy's New Adventures. Now, this was before the technology boom, and Bat Boy here, he was from Texas. He was a child prodigy, and he was in the kind of tech world, coming up with all kinds of, I don't know, I'm not a technology guy myself, but not apps. We didn't even have apps back then. But he came up with the intellectual property that was stolen by Jeff Bezos. And that's why you have Amazon and you're able to pay online with your credit card and stuff. That was Bat Boy. If I remember correctly, he graduated from Harvard and MIT at a young age. So a lot of you youngsters don't know that. This is where Amazon and all these kind of cool things come from. I don't know what happened to him, to be honest with you. I think... he got kidnapped or something. I'll have to find that newspaper because it was very, very interesting stuff. So, also, this was very controversial, and the right wing was pissed, man, when the judge ordered the KKK to admit blacks. So, I forgot why he ruled that way, but, I mean, hey, law's the law, man. But there were a lot of upset people back then. So, if you think it's crazy now, shoot. Oh, and for all you gossipers out there, J-Lo's butt implants explode. See that? So this was before TMZ, so you had to kind of get your news from the newspaper. So if you didn't have the newspaper, you were out of the loop. So you're in the loop now. You're online on your Facebook. You guys are so spoiled. Like, you had to get this from a newspaper. Are you working for a serial killer? A lot of you might not know it, but they don't teach you these things. Back then, they had this in the newspaper to teach you to point the signs, the symptoms of if you're working for a psychopath or a serial killer. See, back then society cared about you. The newspaper was really trying to help you out, to point these things out, and then you could take action as a group or just quit and go work for someone that's not a serial killer, you know? So there was plans too, but we didn't have the technology. We do now though, because of SpaceX and Elon Musk. They wanted to turn the moon into a giant penal colony, meaning that like a prison world, I guess. The same thing England did in Australia in, I guess, the 1700s, if I remember correctly. They took all the prisoners because it was such a small piece of land in England. They just shipped them out to Australia and just dumped them there and said, hey, good luck. So in the 90s, they were trying to do that all over again with the moon. But we didn't have that technology back then. We do now, thanks to Elon Musk and SpaceX. So I don't know if they're going to pursue this. Maybe that's why we never went to the moon. Everyone thought that the moon was going to be some nice, you know, kind of utopia. You could plant some, I don't know, some vegetables and you go vegan there. Maybe brew your coffee or probably some moon rock dust. I have no idea. But back then, that was the plan. Only time will tell if they try to resurrect this plan and then put all the prisoners in the world on the moon. Which, I don't know, man. How would you visit them? That'd be kind of horrible. So, what else do we have here? Saddam. Okay, yeah, back to the one in Montana. See that? Boom. A Bigfoot massacre in Montana. See? Right there. Outraged human rights group demand end to senseless slaughter. Unbelievable, man. Yeah, and things are still bad now. They haven't changed much, but they killed the last species. And see here, they took the child away. CPS came. I don't know what happened to it. After they came, a lot of people were in the dark about where the Bigfoot baby was. Some say they took it to some secret government, you know, facility to perform experiments. I hope not, poor thing. But see, trigger-happy troopers pumped 17 bullets into helpless mother, man. Fuck, that pissed me off so much, man. See, and then I think it was in Alaska too, they had the Yeti. So I don't know what was going on in the minds of the government officials in the 90s, but if you were a big, hairy, walking humanoid, yeah, you didn't stand a chance. So Bubble Boy here was, he was in the news for a long time. He was a little kid in his plastic bubble. He couldn't leave the house. And this is one of Elon Musk's first inventions there. He invented like the Segway. So in the 90s, they had the Segway, that thing you can kind of move back and forth. You know them as hoverboards now, but back then it was a real way to kind of get around. It was like the future's coming. But he invented this one for Bubble Boy in his early 20s, so he can finally get out the house. I think he went to Starbucks, man. Yeah, Starbucks was blowing up all over the country too, so it was kind of a cool thing, you know. Now you all got these, you know, hipster coffee shops. Much better quality coffee, I gotta say. So you guys are lucky that the food is way better now here, especially in Houston. But back then, yeah, man, Bubble Boy. So there was also rent control. Rent is high right now, but back then the dwarfs were dumped. Golf course evicts gnome for using sand traps as litter box. So it started with one, and then all across the country, the golf course owners thought they could just get up and kick all the gnomes out, man. Super controversy. So there was like, because of that, you got renters' rights and the first talks of rent control. I think some couldn't pay the rent. So, you know, rather than kick them out, I don't know where you're gonna put all the gnomes, but that was the first talks of rent control and things like that. So the stuff you're talking about now is because the gnomes back then. So yeah, and in the 90s, a lot of you, well, a lot of us, we were break dancers and stuff. So the Pope loves break dancing. So he started a program to get more kids into the Catholic Church. So you would drop your kids off, little, you know, tiny kids, to the Catholic Church, and then they would teach them break dancing. But as we know, damn, that didn't turn out so well. There's a movie called Spotlight or something like that, and there was a whole scandal later on. I think y'all might remember that. There was a lot of child abuse in the Catholic Church. but it's because the Pope loved breakdancing. It's pretty messed up stuff. So what else we got here? No, yeah, so this was the age of reality TV. And so while we were at war over with Iraq and Afghanistan, they were considering doing a reality show called American Crusaders. Kind of like y'all gossipy shows or The Real World or Big Brother, but they were going to follow some American soldiers and all their... Oh, God. Oh, so if you won, the survivors will be allowed to invade Syria. See, and I told you we're going to invade Syria like 10 years ago. It starts with Iraq and Afghanistan, and then we were going to move on to Syria. It was always going to be that way, so don't be surprised. And I told you guys. And you think the pandemic is crazy now? Kids, this ain't nothing. Look. It says Space Invaders. NASA fears probe will bring back deadly alien virus. That's why they never brought it back. Imagine that. Oh, I would have got out of hand and nothing on this earth could save us. So it's not, right now it's not really as bad as it could be. And then finally, Condoleezza Rice bans chick flicks. So this was the start of the kind of third wave feminist movement. She had spoke out against chick flicks, and then, I mean, the feminist movement got really out of hand after that, and then that's like all that hate started coming in, and that's what you see today. So I gotta cut this episode short, but on the next episode, remember that baby Bigfoot? Bigfoot baby found abandoned outside Neverland Ranch. See Michael Jackson right there? And you wonder why he got killed. Yeah, man, stuff was crazy. And you connect all the dots, and you'll see where I come up with this news, man. This stuff has been going on since before you were born, and now you're just seeing kind of the after effects. So I hope I could fill you in on what you missed out before you were born. Once again, this is for all the youngsters and for all you adults my age and older. I don't know why you're not teaching your kids this stuff, man. It's very important that they know. All right, y'all, this is Celso Trejo reporting live. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.